we on mute?
No, you're all good. You're
Perfect,
doing
thank you.
well. Uh, how, welcome. Thank you for joining us,
Thank
Dobbo
you.
and Salmaan. How's things in Limerick? All good?
Yeah,
All good.
Cool. Just a couple from me, if we can start, Dobbo.
sure.
Um, First of all, the headline, Dylan Maart. I mean, we announced the loan last week. I'm not quite sure everyone knows the full backstory of how he got here. It's quite something.
Yeah, Jeep is a wonderful story. He sort of told it to the team. It's a bloke who, I'm super pleased that he's playing. He's really impressed us. I think he's going to have a good few. Yeah, very excited to see him go. Yeah, from a guy who he was working on taxis to just get lifts to school to Klein Nederburg and Paul. Worked in a factory for 8 or 10 years. After that, he used to run to his rugby club. I know he's at Roses for a while. I can't remember the other club he played for. Then he got into the Boyland team in the first division. Again, run from the factory to training. It's very special. And then he got picked up. He was in the sort of broader sevens. Got picked up for Griquas, who we've got a fantastic relationship, and they loaned him down to us. And I think Dylan's desperate. He wants to take the opportunity. Great for the Griquas to show our relationships working. So it's a nice story all around, and it's an important story for the project that a guy from a relatively modest background or a very modest background and education can get here. It's just a tribute to his hard work.
Yeah, and obviously great to have a replacement like that for someone like Sebelo. Just looking at the other changes or guys coming in, Dobbo Neething's back, which is obviously a great boost for us. We got Connor alongside our captain in the second row. And then Ollie making his first Stormers appearance since 2017.
It's a long time. No, listen, no, obviously thrilled to have Neethling back. Moon's the captain, so obviously they'd been out for a reasonably long time, so he was on the bench last week, but nice to have Moon back. Yeah, I just feel like we're building a nice capacity and depth. If you can put out, you could have blocks like JD Schikkeling, Andre Smith on the bench, an international like Ollie Kevel. It's still excluding Ali Vermaak, Tuxum Tunu, Oliver Reed. Just think we're building I think we're building quite a nice squad here, and that's what we're going to use tomorrow.
Sure. Lastly, for me, just looking at the Munster team, obviously in terms of Springboks out this week, we're leading one stat, which is 6-1, six Stormers in the Springbok team and one Munster player. But they've also got all the Irish internationals back, which should make it quite a challenge.
Yeah, I think shows how important Munster are taking this game. If you've got four guys who played last week, I know other than Tide Burn, their internationals haven't played much, so they're fresh. But I thought Tide Burn was amazing last week, and he's put his body on the line the whole autumn series, and shows how important they're rushing him straight back. It's credit to Tide Burn's personality and how important, and shows how Munster taking this game. Yeah, we probably we had some conversations with South African rugby, but we felt strongly didn't want to. Risk any of our guys playing for the Springboks. We're all behind the national team, and we'll rest them next week. Because obviously we can't rest them this week. I think we probably would have if they'd been available because they've been through a lot on this tour. That don't forget their tour started with an out of the window international against Japan. So yeah, and we also wanted to stick loyal to the guys who prepared for us the last 2 or 3 weeks in Cape Town. We've had a really good prep, and we wanted those guys to play. And I just think jetting guys in this week wouldn't be the way we wanted to go. But it makes it a very big challenge because those are all good players that have come in, and it shows you how they're taking this game. I suppose if you want to play the league leaders at home, it's a game that any team hosting that would put their best foot forward on. So we're expecting a big challenge there.
Nice one, Dobbo. Moon, good to be back. I mean, I know you played against Benetton, but the last couple of weeks, how have they been from a player's point of view? How are the guys feeling ahead of this match with 2 good weeks of training in Cape Town under the belt?
I'm okay. Yeah, it's obviously really great to be back. We've had a good couple of weeks. Great result in Benetton. And then we got together. We had about 2 and a bit weeks together. So we've had fairly good preparation going into this game. Obviously the conditions back home is very different to here. But I think the guys are very very well prepped. Everyone's buying into the plan, and yeah, really excited about the massive challenge ahead.
Nice one. Angus has got his hand up first. Yes, Angus.
Thanks, Mikey. Afternoon, Dobbo. Afternoon, Moon. Dobbo, you touched a bit on Dylan Maart now, but we've seen what he can do at Griquas. But in training, what have you seen from him in tandem with Zazi and Boogie at the back in the back three?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question, Angus. I'll tell you why is because the Curry Cup, where they did so well and we are chuffed with Griquas, uh, it's a very different sports, but it's a very different game to what this Thurman Park on a Saturday night against unbeaten Munster. So a lot's had to do with how he's trained, and he's just been so good in training and the stuff that we needed. So Grick was prepped him, and we haven't had him for that long. They've done amazing work with him. But the aerial skills, the toughness, the reads on defense, he's got the absolute buy-in, trust, friendship, support of Warwick Gelant. And if you've got Warwick's stamp of approval, then you're good to go. Warwick, he makes up his own mind on everything. So at training, it's probably been how he's done it. We knew he had some talent, but this types of stuff we didn't realize, just from watching the Curry Cup, the high ball stuff, because there's not a lot of nearly as much contestables kick there as in this competition. His toughness, his defensive work, his work rate, perhaps the stuff we also didn't see on TV in the Curry Cup, but this guy and his sheer desperation to make it and take it. So that's what we've seen. Yeah, we look. We've got, as I said, Sibylla and Salmaan are injured. Salamaan's back next week. But we could have, if we expected the contestables, pushed Ruan onto the wing, put Dan into 12. But we just seen so much of Dylan Maart. He played himself. He trained himself into this place, which is it's very cool. I'm really excited for him.
And also, having gotten this tour monkey off your back, having won 3 games overseas now, would you say that the team is mentally probably prepared better to go into this clash against a team you haven't won away against before? And also, you can say the Stormers' bogey team historically.
Yeah, I think we've got history, haven't we? Yeah, the Munster team that we played, we lost in the final two in Cape Town, and they beat our stop to unbeaten record. Obviously, a different, there were some, Peter Marnie, Connor Murray. It was a mean team, really good team, but we've got history there with them, and we haven't won here. We feel that, perhaps Stormers team's not quite as evolved as this team came here, and we just got it quite properly. So we're disappointed. We feel we're more evolved, we're more tuned to what we need to do to win on the road, because after the Ospreys game, we had 5 games straight on the road, and I think, okay, 2 in Italy, but Benetton hadn't won there for a calendar year. We had Scarlets on a Friday night. We've had tight games there. And then you go Munster away in one of the cathedrals of European rugby, and then you go to Bayonne away, where they also got an incredible home record. So it's going to test us how much better we got, but we've no doubt we've got better and better understanding how to win in these conditions.
Thanks, gentlemen. All the best.
Thanks, Angus.
Thanks, Angus. Nathan, far away.
Thank you very much, Mike. Good day, Dobbo and Moon. Moon, I'll start with you. Moon, you've had your fair share of injuries a bit, but I mean, how good is it to be back after missing out with the Stormers at the start of the season and missing out in selection with the national side?
Look, it's been great to be back with the boys. And the second I walked into the environment, you could just feel that there's definitely something different this year. The boys have bought into the plan, into the way that we want to play, and obviously through the results, we can see that we've reaped those rewards. But it's been a seamless transition for me. I haven't really thought about the national selection much. Obviously, due to obvious reasons, I haven't played much rugby, and I'm more than happy to be here and contribute to the team and do whatever I can to so that we can get the result.
Dobbo, Neethling and has been really unlucky with suspension and injuries, including Moon as well, excluding the suspension part, of course. But on the real, how comforting is it to have these big names for the franchise who possess leadership qualities for the Stormers in such an important game?
Sure, it's a short answer. Very. What I think the way Salmaan captained us at this back end of last year, he just brought us so much intensity to the team and physicality. And I think one of the reasons why things didn't go as well in Glasgow as they could have, was the loss of a guy being such a massive influence. So to have him back, huge. Nietes has captained us, but he's I'm just so chuffed with how how our Scrum culture, because people said a while ago, how are you guys going to survive without Captaincy, Scurra and France? And the competition there is just frightening. But Nettling is this talisman at the moment. So have him and Sazi back. It's brilliant. And next week you can add Zach Porth, and next week you can add Tuxen and Ali. It's good. But for this game, having two leaders, big physical international Springbok forwards, very nice for us.
Ireland have called on the big names. Obviously, you guys have mentioned it in the previous statements or questions, but unfortunately, you'll be without the couple of Springboks. Just hearing from the guys this week, there's a sense of belief. Probably stems from having a good run, a run away from home.
Yeah, I think we know we got a formula, but and there is some belief, and we really feel like this group it's a really tight group. I don't think I've enjoyed coaching a Stormers team as much as I'm enjoying this one. I think we as coaches were talking about that. So there is belief, but as was pointed out, we haven't won here. They obviously have bulked up with bringing their guys straight in. So and I say it's one of the cathedrals of European rugby where we've got a poor record. So we know what we're up against, but there's no doubt that we've got the ability in this group and the focus and the desperation to do this. This is not Thurman Park where we came here bewildered in the first year of URC, never been to this kind. I don't think Stormers obviously never been to Ireland. Someone got a yellow card for jumping across in a line out. We've just never seen stuff. There was a sighting. It was a fiasco. I think we're a long way from that team. They'll see a very different Stormers team 3 or 4 years on.
Of course. And then final one, if I may, Mike, just onto logistics, Dobbo, what's the reasoning behind leaving during the week, which gives you limited time to acclimatize to the conditions and prepare in Ireland?
We couldn't, I think we had to, if you fly out on the Monday, you can't train on the Tuesday. You fly out on the Sunday, you can't train on the Monday. So what we wanted to do, and to fly out on the Saturdays, it's expensive, but second, it's a long time for the guys we just come back from a long tour. Some of the guys stayed a bit longer, played for the Barbarians. Some of the guys that'll be joining us next week have played for the Springboks. So we wanted to do proper preparation and then use yesterday and today to get used to the conditions. But it did allow us last week and on Monday and Tuesday to prepare properly for this game. So when we almost had nothing to do here other than just go through a couple of things and get used to the conditions. That's the emphasis. Moon's been talking to them already about how I don't think us being in a hotel for longer, we wouldn't have been able to get 2 of the proper hard training days unless we'd left on Saturday, which I think is a bit long.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Nathan. We're on to Stephen now. Yes, Stephen.
Thanks very much. Hi, guys. Hope you're well.
Thanks, Stephen.
Dobbo, it's quite an interesting call on Connor, if you consider who you're up against. And obviously, you've got Schikkeling and so on. One might have thought, that putting Connor there is a bit of a surprise. Can you just sort of maybe give us your thinking on your lock pairing there, please?
Yeah, well, Salmaan was an easy one. Obviously, he's our captain. He's back to full fitness. But Connor, Ruben van Heerden's injured, and Ruben's, as has been reported, looks like he's going to, I think I might stand on correction, Montpellier next year, and we have to bring Connor through as another 5. We've got a good lot of options at 4, so we wanted to give Connor a big game. Rita's got absolute confidence in his calling, and then there's another component. I don't think we lose a lot, if whatever minute it is, JD Schikkeling and Andre Smith come on. It's worked for us against Benetton. So there's a bit of component of having a really powerful bench. But the most important thing, we're not going to replace Connor. Connor's not going to replace Ruben unless we play him, nor we're going to keep him in the club or in the Stormers if he just doesn't get the game time. And he missed out two of the last tour games. So we've got a sort of critical path in a roster, and we had this game down to give Connor. He's got to feel like he can develop and grow and replace Ruben. So that was the plan. But I think have a good look at the bench, Steve. It gives you a good idea of what our thinking is as well.
Cool. Thanks, Dobbo. Dobbo, obviously you're missing some guys this weekend. But, if you look at a guy like Zach, for example, now he's been on a Springbok tour and so on. Does that encourage you in a sense, because you're going to be getting one would think you'd be getting a better player back, after Zach's been in that environment for 5 weeks. are you glad in that sense? Do you think there's a positive in that? Missing the guy, but on the other hand, you're getting you'll
Uh,
be getting a
no,
player
listen,
back.
I would have been a lot more stressed if Nietes hasn't sort of been so desperate to get back, or if Sars had been injured. But no, I think for Zach, his confidence, working with Don, we saw this change. Look, I don't think it's all down to a coach or coaching. So if the environments contribute, the growth in Sasha from when we played the quarterfinal against Glasgow to what came back to us, a couple of weeks ago. And I think we'll see the same with Zach. It's a high pressure environment. I must say, I'm also absolutely thrilled with the work of Brock Harris and the scrum culture here as well. So I think we're getting a good player, and and just look in the pipeline as well. So I just think things are heading in the right direction in terms of our squad and the project, because we're probably still not touching on. We've got Henkes at home. We've got Corne Velbach's been cleared after his heart thing. He's a special tight head. Herman Libber, the SA under 20. Donnie Krieger in the under 19s. Under Brock, there's a really nice scrum culture. The Looseheads is just too competitive for words. So very happy with where we are. And happy that Zach will definitely come back. Look, a year ago, we were thrilled when we could put him on the second half against, not a year ago, in April this year, against Benetton. We were thrilled. He gets a scrum penalty because we had some reservations there. And now he's going to come back having played. I know one wasn't very long, but having played or been involved in 3 test matches, that can only make him better, as can Don and the Springbok environment. So it's good. Long answer. Sorry.
Salmaan, how much confidence would you take from the guys doing a job on Munster last year? The reason I'm saying that is that was a strong Munster team, that or last season that you beat quite comfortably. I know it's a different, it's in their home ground this time, but there must be some degree of confidence that you can take from there.
This is my work, so I'll just have to wait a bit unless Peter takes you.
Let me just quickly try and get Gavin Rich here. He is obviously next.
Sorry, Stephen. I just, I didn't get all of that.
Moon, I think Stephen was asking about the home game we won against Munster last year and how much confidence we take.
Yeah, because obviously that was a Munster team that was close to full strength, if I recall.
Yes, Stephen, to answer your question, I think you can look at past results and you can definitely take confidence from it. But like you so rightfully said, it's a different season. It's Munster at home, and we know the advantages of that. But within saying that, it's a massive positive for the group. If you look at that game last year and the way we won that game, it wasn't just by luck or by a single decision. It was, we bought into a plan and that plan was executed, and through that you can take a lot of confidence out. And for a large group of these boys that are playing tomorrow, it's those guys were all involved in that game, and so I think everyone can take a lot of confidence out of it. But within saying that, it's a whole different ball game, and we're all acknowledging that and realizing that, and we know what's coming.
Well, thanks, guys. Good luck.
Thanks,
Thank
Steve.
you.
Thanks, Steve. Leeton, you can go.
Thanks, Mikey. Hi, Dobbo. Hello, Moon. Hope
Hey,
you guys
Leeton.
are well. Dobbo, to start off with you, please. You've spoken highly there about the Munster tight head there, but was there anything that you guys could look at in that ball game that you can go into on the on the Munster scrum on both sides? I think you guys have been outstanding in the scrums, and more reward has been coming your way than in previous seasons, especially overseas. Are you hoping to continue with that?
Yeah, I think, I don't think we can compare. None of our players played last week. The Springboks, I think three or four of theirs did. So they probably know it better than us. But I don't think our game models are far apart. This season we both teams that I talk about us and the national team. we sort of from both sides been a sort of toenadering, the way they worked on their transition game, which is something we were strong at. They've got that power game. I think we've improved there. If you look at the stats after round 5 around the maul and the scrum, so it's not, it's becoming, and we're not the only South African franchise. The Bulls are similar as they've developed their transition game. And it's nice to see this alignment around South African rugby, and I think our approach, we've made it, it's been a bit of a different, hasn't it? From the Leinster game on, we want to sort of keep pressure on teams, and I think we've got the personnel to do it. So yeah, we won't read over much into that game, but we know our plan, as Moon said, and it's just a question of us executing with absolute intensity. That's what it's going to take tomorrow. And I think that's the thing that the Springboks did. They just kept the intensity was always there. Then it's not soft moments and physical exchanges, and that's the challenge for us tomorrow.
Yeah. Moon, I want to touch on that part as well. In that Benetton game, you guys had control, but then sort of I don't want to call it the old Stormers because you are still that team. But how much will you have to play within the previous 4 games that you've played with the pack, with the forwards? How
Yeah.
much will that weigh in tomorrow, and not try to digress too much to doing your normal blueprint that you're so good at home?
Yeah, look, I think first of all, conditions play a big part in the way we play. And I think obviously the start of our season, we had 1 or 2 home games. We knew the way that we wanted to go into those games and the style of play that we wanted to go into those games with. And then within saying that, we went on to tours, which was fairly wet conditions, and we had a particular model in the way that we wanted to play, and I think we executed that really well. And a large part of that involves the forwards and our set piece. So I don't think we'll deviate far off from that. We'll definitely stick to our strengths, which is our set piece. Our set piece has been going well. Our scrums, our lineouts, our mauls. And then at the end of the day, the game of rugby is all about territory and where you play on the field. So yeah, I think that's hopefully I'm answering your question.
Yeah, yeah, you are. Thanks, man. And then just lastly, for you, Dobbo, maybe you can chip in as well because I think this would have been a tough decision also. How much will Roos 5 matches that he's been captain help you in terms of getting that synergy, especially between the backs and the forwards, but also communication in terms of what you guys see from different perspectives on the field. Obviously, you're going to be at the front. He's going to see stuff more from the back and where things are going up.
And is that for me or Dobbo?
For you first, but Dobbo Roos been 5-0 if I'm not mistaken.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, look, yeah, we have to compliment Ruan on the way he's done and gone about his job. I think it's been excellent. I think his IQ on the game is second to none. His understanding of our defensive structure and he's just all in all a good man. And really he's done an amazing job. And I think it's like you said, rightfully said, it's really cool that we can have a set of eyes in front with a pack of forwards and a set of eyes at the back. I will surely lean onto him, and he will do the same with me. And hopefully our combination can grow nicely over the next couple of games and into the season. Over.
Yeah, I think to me it's Salmaan's like I said, the team always our captain, but I think we've probably missed the piece of a very senior captain for a while now. We've been quite dismissive of it, but the way Ruan's led, it makes it very natural for it. Gives a massive resource to Salmaan, gives a lot of confidence. I mean, it's hard as a captain if you haven't got a strong person with you then to worry about referee, team motivation, physical intensity, the tech strategy, the defense. So you've got a guy there who's really good at understand the game tactically, really good. He's one of the leaders of the defense and has been for years. He's got experience of leading the team when Moon's busy or, it's got something on. Both have got good, with the referee, sometimes it might be Moon or most of the time it's Moon, but, he'll give good input, Ruan. So I'm thrilled that we've discovered this combination. Really excited about it going forward. I mean, I got it wrong in the not promoting Ruan earlier when Salmaan wasn't here because we went with Neertling and Dan, and that wasn't, it's not a criticism of them, but he's been a very pleasant surprise. We probably should have got there earlier as a stand-in when Moon was with the box.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Litzen. Adnan Mohammed's got a question. Yes, Adnan.
Hi, how's it, guys? Thanks, Mikey. Just one for Salmaan and one for Dobbo. Salmaan, just when I look at their team, they've got a guy like Zakir Abrams. Obviously, South African, he played for the Lions, he's down there, and he's doing quite well. And it's interesting that he's playing opposite Dylan Maart, who's making his debut. So, just your thoughts on him as a player, and do you actually know him? Maybe you guys played together, maybe at junior level?
Yeah, no, I know Dhaka really well. We grew up together. Yeah. He's from Paul. He's a Paul boy as well. So we both went to Paul boys, played first side together. But we knew each other well before that. Paul is a very small community, especially the Muslim community. So he's obviously a quality player. We know that he's got some X factor. So it's going to be really nice to catch up with him again after the game. But yeah, very highly rated, and I think the matchup between him and Dylan Maart will be something exciting, and I'm sure Dylan Maart's very excited about that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
Paul Wellington,
Yeah, Paul Wellington,
Yes,
yeah,
it's yes.
Dobbo, your thoughts on that matchup? Just
Listen, Takir's got I think he's got a real X factor. What's the old cliche? He could step his way out of a telephone box, which I don't have anymore. But no, he's got X factor. We know he's on line breaks. Looked at his stats. He's done really well for Munster. I thought it was quite a prescient or bright acquisition by Munster to get if you want to play transition rugby, he's as good as there is around. So to get in there for to pick him up was a good move by them. And Norman knows how sharp we have to be in any elements, kick chase, how he could step. So yeah, I think what's good for us is that Dylan sort of knows him. He knows him from the beat or the circuit, if you like. So maybe a little less daunting for Dylan in making his URC debut against somebody he knows. But I must say, Takir has been very, very good for I think is their X factor. So we have to keep an eye on that.
yeah, that's going to be interesting. Double, just one for you. Alex Coding, their forward coach, mentioned, and I think you did touch on it earlier about. You said the Stormers have a similar DNA to the Springboks at Marist, Springbok rugby. You did touch on it. Do you guys maybe play slightly different, or do you think it's good?
I know. I look at DNA. I'm not sure about DNA. I think our DNA is probably a bit different, how we played over the last years. But probably in terms of our current game model, there are some similarities. We want to put the opposition under pressure at scrum and set piece, and we like to play in transitions. And I think the Springboks have changed a little their DNA a little bit. I don't think, but they've got the ability to go both ways, haven't they? We didn't see that transition play last week. We just saw the sheer brutality, and obviously that's very much a personnel based thing. But I think in overall game model, I think there's a bit of a line. As I say, I'd include the Bulls in that as well. A bit of alignment. The Bulls certainly grew over the last few years with if you didn't kick out against them, guys like Kanan and Kirtley could put proper magic, and that's something that we sort of that's what we sort of discovered when we became URC champions with where Marnie and Warwick and them and Damien did so well in backfield. That we could get into transitions and play well. So there's a similarity. I don't think our DNA or mindset is completely the same. I do think we've been a bit more aligned with them this year in that we really, really like them, want to win in the Northern Hemisphere in tough conditions. So perhaps we haven't been, making Cape Town smile in terms of the sort of 6 Stormers tries, but those are coming. Let us get back to Cape Town, play in front of Ons Mensa and then those conditions, and then we'll see it. But right now, we've just got a job to do.
Thanks very much, and hope you'll smile tomorrow night again.
Thanks, Nani.
Good stuff. Thanks, guys. All the best for the rest of it. And we'll touch base tomorrow for a voice note. Dobbo.
Okay.
Thanks,
Mike.
Mikey. Thanks,
Sorry,
everyone.
Sorry not here, Michael.
Yeah, I'm very sorry.